Smash Engineering.
Welcome back to another episode of Smash Engineering. Today we're going to be taking a look at a sump pump system. Now this is another friend of mine's house, and like I said, I dabble in a lot of different things. So today we're looking at an issue with the sump pump. We're not sure exactly what it is. The sump pump is kicking on like every 3 or 4 seconds. It is just non-stop. It has been raining really bad here where I live. So we're going to take a look at the sump pump system, see if we can figure out what's going on. So let's head on downstairs where the sump pump's located. Alright, so we've located the sump pump. Now, this house has a backup sump pump that's driven off of the
water supply system.
Now, this is a very deep basement and kind of a wet area, so this is kind of a necessity. And for those of you that don't have one of these and don't need one of these, consider yourself blessed, because they're not only expensive, but they are necessary in this type of situation. Now, I don't know if you can hear it humming or not, but this is the sump pump system. This is the secondary here. This is the emergency backup. And this here would be the primary. This little thing here is a check valve or check ball. It only lets water go one way, so that way your pump's not constantly fighting itself. When it pumps the water out, whenever it's empty in here, the water then, when the pump shuts off, feeds back. So this kind of stops it right there. So we're looking at this. I don't see any issues here. I don't see any water leaking. These do leak. They're very common. Oh, I take that back. There's a little bit of water here. Yeah, there's a little bit of water there, nothing to be super worried about, seeing as how this pump is kicking on every 20 seconds or less. So one of the things I need to look at here, and I can see it's already been serviced, probably this backup system wasn't probably installed when the house was built, so I imagine that the radon shield here had to be probably broke up so that they could install this, and then it looks like they've just taped it down and sealed it the best they could. Now, it's very important that if your house comes with a radon protection, or if it has this type of cover, to maintain this type of cover. It's a good chance that either they did a radon test and they found that there was radon coming out of the ground near your home, or your area is just known to have high radon concentration. So this is something that you wouldn't want to, if you are going to service your sump pump, you wouldn't want to take this off and then leave it off. Okay, so we're going to follow the pipes up the wall, and that's going to tell us where on the outside of the house to look for them at. So as you can see, the pipes run up the wall here. They're fastened to the wall nice and secure, because when the water does kick on, these do get jolted a little bit. And if you look, they go up here and they go out. You got this is the secondary here, and this is the primary. So we're going to go on the outside of the house and take a look. So I don't see any issues here, although it is kicking on a lot. It's probably just due to how wet the weather has been being to us. So, all right, let's go head upstairs and head outside and take a look at the outside of this. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a step around the side of the house here and see what's going on. I do have some gloves, because I imagine I'm going to have to dig up some dirt and take a look at what's going on. It is extremely wet around this part of the home. It looks like maybe the water's not evacuating as far as it's supposed to. So we'll go ahead and take a look. Okay, first thing I notice as I'm walking around here is this is extremely wet. Now, it has been raining a lot, but there is a gutter system here, so it shouldn't be as wet as it is. We'll wait for it to cycle a few times and see. This is the exterior. Okay, if you look right here, the water is bubbling up out of there. And this drain goes about another, I'd say at least 50 to 60 feet away from here. So I'm assuming there's a break in this pipe somewhere right down in here. You see the pipe starts right here and is buried under the ground, so maybe in the wintertime it froze. I don't know quite, but we're going to go ahead and dig this away and take a look. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. I do not like trying to get dirt out from underneath my fingernails. It's not fun. Yeah, it is just... wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to take a look at that. Some type of junction here or something. Yeah, that's just not going to work. That should be evacuating down the embankment here. So the fact that it's evacuating only 5 feet from the house means that the sump pump's going to be pumping it up here so that it can just head right back down. Now when you are digging, you always want to be careful. That's why I was being so gentle, because you will find wiring under here and you do not want to cut it. So I want to make sure you don't damage any of the wiring. Looks like someone has actually damaged it. If you look here, probably when they were digging this out the first time, there's some electrical tape on here, which when this gets saturated with water, that electrical tape doesn't do any good at all. So I'm glad we were recording so you can see that I'm not the one that did that. But this is why I was saying be careful. You can see here, this is probably like an internet line or something of that nature. So probably not high voltage or a big deal, but it's like you didn't glue this or something. Look at that. So there appears to be like maybe a crack or a break along the bottom of this pipe here, this junction, where it goes from a huge, I don't know, 4-inch pipe down to maybe a 2-inch or 1.25 inch, some 1.5 inch, something like that. So we've dug in here a little deeper and we found that the plumber or whoever did this, handyman, whoever did it last time, wasn't the homeowner currently. Whoever did it last time had good intentions. It looks like they tried to do it as right as they could. It looks like they forgot a couple steps. This purple stuff here is a primer that you use for a glue that you use to bond this PVC pipe together. Now as you can see here, this pipe has been pushed out and there's no glue, there's no nothing on it. He did scuff the pipe, or she scuffed the pipe, but didn't actually go back and glue it. So that's gonna be our issue right there. And you can see why it's important that it be glued, because the pressure blew that off. And of course it's flooding this entire area. It's also not glued on the backside of this flange. So we're gonna have to get to work on that. All right, so we waited for the rain to stop. It has stopped and the sun, as you can see, is out. And so we're gonna take another stab at this. It's only been a few hours since the last recording. So what we got here is I showed you the double system. You got your reserve or your backup one, and then you got the main one. Well, the backup one, as you can see here, if you look closer, it is just set to dump straight out into the ground, which you can see it's been doing, and it's digging a hole. So what I'm going to do just temporarily right now, I have to disable the main one so that I can dry it off so I can fix the area. So what we're going to do, I'm hoping that without gluing these, if I just press fit these in here, it'll give me enough. I'm hoping it'll give me enough pressure that we can use that just to divert the water away from this pipe. As you can see here, the pipe is off. I cleaned out around the pipe, and the water's clean. It's just rainwater, runoff water. But I need to dry this out, and this won't get dry as long as it's still leaking. I do have this kind of jammed against it, keeping most of the water going down where it's supposed to, but not nearly good enough. So I got some PVC pipe from a leftover project I had, and I'm going to go ahead and run this down to the drain. Probably put that in fast mode, I don't know, we'll see. however it edits out right. But basically, this is just a temporary setup. I wouldn't recommend leaving it like this. I do have some connectors here, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started on that. Okay, I did also get a roll of flex piping, so I'm going to put it on this, and that way we can just let it run right on down the driveway and into the drain for now. So let's go grab that. The tree stinks. You'll know if it's going to hold just about the same time we know, except for the edit difference. Give me a flat blade screwdriver, we'll tighten that down, we'll give it a test. Got the flat blade, we're going to go ahead and hook this up and see what happens. Yes, I'm wearing gloves. As I said before, I know I'll probably get teased for wearing gloves, but that's okay, because scrubbing mud and muck out of my nails is not one of my favorite pastimes. So I'd much rather be editing videos for you guys. Alright, so that's the current system right there. That's the pipe there that's got the break in it. So I'd say only about, even with me jamming it on there, only about 70% of the water is actually coming down here. So the homeowner is definitely going to have to look into some other type of drain, as this probably isn't super sustainable. But we're going to try to get it at least fixed up as good as it is. I'm going to send my assistant, who's holding the camera, downstairs to the pump room to disable the pump that's pumping out of there, and we're going to engage the pump that pumps out of here, and we're just going to test the whole system out. So if you want to hand me that. Alright, so my assistant's going down there to, the assistant is also the friend with the tracker, also my film crew half the time. So however, that person does not want to be on camera as of right now. Maybe sometime in the future I will get said person to be in the films, but we'll see. Some people are a little more shy when it comes to the internet. But anyway, so we got this plugged into the the outlet here. Now all this here is glued. I didn't do any of that. I just added this, and of course all the way down to the drain. And so basically what we got to do, like I said, is this water here, I can't glue anything. Okay. Alright, so it looks like it's going to work. What I'm going to do is scoop this water out with this cup, try to get it as dry as possible, remove the pieces that aren't glued yet, and then we're going to glue them. And I'll put a picture of this right here for you, and if I forget to, I apologize ahead of time. I'm going to do my best to not forget. I did get slammed by one of my viewers for, I was supposed to put some steel mesh on one of them, but anyway. So in order for this to work, it has to be dry and it has to be clean. So we're going to go ahead and get this water out of here. And best thing you can do is just dig a hole in one of the sides that's a little deeper and just put the cup there and the water will come to you. You don't really have to scoop it. I don't know where you guys might live, but it has been wet here this spring for us. Okay, I got most of the water out. I'm gonna go ahead and dig around the pipe a little bit more, just to get some more of the muck out of here. Like I said, you want this to be as clean as you can get it. You know, when I was younger, I actually didn't mind digging in this stuff. The auxiliary one just kicked on, so it seems like it seems to be working. So at least good enough for temporary. There are some holes in this PVC, I noticed. So wow, this ground is just saturated as deep as I can touch. It's just, this is not a good situation. This is also what causes your sump pump to run an extra amount for no reason. So what we're gonna do here is pop that apart. See if we can get this piece off here. Not the right tool for the job, but it's never the wrong tool if it can do the job. As you can see, this has never been glued. It was simply press fit together. There's no, this purple stuff is a primer that they have in there. And then the glue is usually like a clear, or sometimes it's orange. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this off, and I'm gonna get some paper towel and we'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and clean this out. We gotta make sure it's dry and clean. And then this, of course, has to be clean as well, which, good luck with that. Yeah, you can get close up on that. Now this is kind of difficult because the piping is all in the ground, but it's so wet that it's allowing this pipe to move enough. Otherwise, if these were stationary, I would never be able to pull this out enough to fix this. This is a kind of a big goof up from the, I hate to criticize people that do stuff before me, but because the people that I know that I do a lot of different things, I dabble, as I say, in a lot of different things, they don't mind letting me come behind people and fix things. So. Alright, so get that clean. I'm going to go ahead and open this. I'm just checking to make sure I got the right one because they do sell a bunch of different ones. And it was chaos in the local hardware store. Because of the rain, everyone's systems are failing, leaking, blowing out, not working. You name it. So this was the last one on the shelf. And it is the right one. You want to make sure that it's pressure rated for what you do. Now this is a drain, so it is a pressurized drain, but it's not a high pressure drain. As you can see, this is the backup one, and it's, I mean, I didn't glue any of this together, it's just pressure fit together, and it's working out just fine. So this is gonna work for what we need to do. So we're gonna get the purple stuff out. Now, I would always recommend wearing gloves with dealing with this stuff. This stuff is no fun. The instructions say, the purple tinted is a primer for use on PVC and ABS plastic. Oh, it says not for use with ABS plastic. It's for uses on all schedule and all classes up to 6 inches. Now I don't know exactly what this is. I'd say that's probably 4 inches. Oh, 3 inches, so it says a 3 to 1.5. So. I'm trying to see what the wait time is here. Okay, so remove all dirt, apply purple primer to the fitting, apply solvent to the cement PVC pipe and fitting, assemble the joint with a quarter turn motion and hold for 30 seconds. And we're going to do as best we can here. give this a shake. My goodness. Can't open it with the gloves on. No grip. Okay, so we paused the video and I had the 6-year-old daughter next door come and open this for me because I apparently can't. We're gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna apply this pretty liberally around here. It just makes for a good adhesion. Also, when you're drying off the pipe, make sure you dry off inside the pipe so nothing backfeeds and contaminates the area you're working. This is not ideal situations. This is emergency situations, so we're just making it as good as we can. And it will suffice, I'm sure. Oh, you gotta make sure you do the fitting as well. And this stuff is stinky. Whew. And probably toxic as HE double hockey sticks. Alright, so we're done with that. And this was only like $7 US where I live. So it's not super expensive. Now we're gonna let that dry for, I think it said 30 seconds. I don't know. I've not used this brand, so I'm just reading the instructions here to make sure. Yeah, so we're just gonna let that dry. It says just let it air dry, so we'll let it air dry for a little while. And you gotta look at the temperature you're working in too. If you're working in too cold of temperature, this stuff won't work. All right, so it's been a fair amount of time. We're gonna go ahead and add our cement and see if we can't pop this together. Now you only got like 30 seconds once you do this before it starts to really harden, so. I probably use too much, but that's just me. I don't want to do it again. It ain't like this is drinking water. This is just going out to the. This is just runoff type water. So. Now the fun part. Alright, so I gotta let this sit for about 15 minutes. So while this is drying, let's go take a look at how well this is doing. Since it is just a temporary setup and I haven't seen how well it drains yet. No leaks. As you can see, it's coming out of here good. Tastes a little funny. And how much better ever to spend 15 minutes than reading about the secret life of dogs. Okay, so we went ahead and waited 15 minutes. Now this has all been glued. This is, even though I cleaned it, it's still pretty fairly contaminated. So I did clean it as best I could. We're gonna see how it works out. This has been buried for a number of years. I think this has been like this for 5 or 6 years, something like that. The homeowner was telling me. So it has just done damage. You can see the water is undercutting, but. All right, I can hear it. I can feel it running out. No leaks. All right, I say we're good. We'll backfill this, disconnect this temporary setup, and move on to the next project. All right, well, seems like it's working. It's all fixed. I'm gonna leave it open for the homeowner to come take a look at it and know that it's good to go. we're going to pretty much wrap up the video here. If you like what you're seeing, smash that subscribe button for me. As always, help someone in need. Thank you for watching. Leave me some comments, throw a like up there, and stay tuned for the next episode.